Now let's take a look at how Orange Studio works. Look, we've uploaded an image like this. It's a floor plan. With Orange Studio, it doesn't have to be a floor plan. It can be anything. It could even be a render. Here you can very quickly and efficiently change it by simply writing new text directly into the interface. For example, let's consider a common scenario. You might want to completely remove the specific text that has been written right in the middle of the detailed floor plan, making sure the plan remains clear and uncluttered. The plan design, let's say we want to transform it into that beautiful and distinctive Scandinavian style, characterized by its minimalist design and natural elements, guys. We previously discussed and agreed, yes, let's definitely turn it into that appealing Scandinavian style. I mean, that was a bit of a silly sentence. But honestly, it's 1 AM right now, and this is the only time I could find to make these lessons. At least for now, let's quickly prepare these lessons. Later on, we'll prepare more detailed lessons step by step. I kindly ask you not to mind it too much. Yes, look, it removed the text. Again, it really converted our style into the Scandinavian style just as we wanted. We can also edit our floor plan very quickly by just writing text like this, but it doesn't have to be a floor plan, guys. For example, let this be one of the renders we just got. What can we say to this? For example, turn it into night. Let's see what it will do, I'm curious. Specifically the prompt editing functionality part in Orange Studio works incredibly fast and efficiently. So I recommend this. If you want to make quick edits, you can get results instantly just by writing text. Look, it immediately turned it into night. Nice. So let's have someone swimming in the pool and a truly opulent luxury experience. Sunbed. I said I want to see, and I sent it. This prompt edit part is really fast and effective. You get results. Sometimes it might give an error. Don't worry about it, just keep going. You can also see every edit you've made below. So for example, every time you make a change, it puts the previous and next one side by side like this. It lines them up. Look, here it's turning daytime into night. Here it's adding sunbeds and so on. Look, it turned out really nice. People swimming in the pool, wonderful. A beautiful atmosphere, nice. Add New Year's lights. Add these. Turn the environment into an amazing atmosphere. Anyway, now it's an amazing atmosphere. Of course, it would be better if we define it, but this is the edit prompt. So I'm trying to explain to you how the prompt edit section works. It lines them up here one by one like this. You can download whichever one you want from here. Let's also see the results, the final result, and I can't go from here. Yes, as you can see, it decorated the surroundings and so on like this. Nice. If you want, you can go back to the previous version and continue from there. So right now you can still go to the previous version. Like this, you can go wherever you want to continue from, guys. Now this is the first part. There's also something called background change. There's something important here. I want to define that. Now normally in background change you select the image. So let's say clear canvas. Here, yes, we've created a prompt, and with this prompt we're visualizing the background. But of course sometimes it can mess up here, and as a result we might have trouble getting the result we want. The trick is, this is how you get rid of that. We thought it would be much better if there was a system where we could choose the style of the background when visualizing these types of furniture. For example, it can mess up here, as you can see. For example, there are huduks here. Here, the front part actually looks nice, but this part is messed up. How can we have a bit more control? When we come to the answer to that question, there is a section here called reference image. When you activate this, you can add a reference image here. You transfer it to the visual. For example, let's see what we have here. Honestly, we have an image like this. Let's use it. When we tell Apple that this is a reference image, it creates the background according to this reference image. Especially since our sofas are a bit dark brown, they might suit this well. If you have an interior like this, you can blend these and create a background for it. Friends, if the angles are the same, it will be much smoother. Look, for example, since the angle is different here, it got a bit messed up. Normally, if the angle were the same, in other words, if it were a top-down angle, I can guarantee that you would get much better results. That's the reason it's messed up right now, friends. Among the options, there's also background change like this, and there's also local edit. Local edit is actually very simple. It's basically an operation you do in Photoshop, so you select this. Alright, friends, then you write it here. You say, for example, remove the dining table. So it only performs this operation on the part you've selected. Now, normally you can also do this with a prompt edit. If you tell it to remove the dining table, it will remove it. But here's the thing. When you select a specific area, the operation only happens there. It never goes beyond the area you've selected.